All right, welcome to the Fantasy Six Pack Network. My name is Joe Bond, founder of FantasySixPack.net. With me, covering the top 10 relief pitchers, is Connor Thomure. What's going on, man?
Not a whole lot today. Just enjoying my off day.
That's always good. And talking to baseball, that's always a good thing. So,
hmm
yeah, before we jump into that, though, just want to ask everybody while you're here, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, so you get alerts for whenever any of our videos go live here. And jump over to FantasySixPack.net. Become an all-access member. You're going to get access to our award-winning rankings. You're going to get access to the draft cheat sheet. All of us over on Discord to answer your custom league questions. And during the season, projections, DFS advice, and then if you play football, football's always happening. Basketball, hockey, PGA, golf, you name it, we cover it. So we got you covered over there. Use promo code F6PMLB25 and save 15%. And yeah, without further ado, man, let's talk some relief pitchers. Always a very interesting position to rank. Feels like you're wrong more than you're right. This position, right? It's just one of those yeah, we're hoping, but got to go through it. Number 10, Andres Munoz.
Yeah, I think finding number 10 may have been one of the more challenging spots on any of these rankings because it's like, oh, like, is this guy better than this guy? So I have Andres Munoz. Some others that I considered, like Lucas Urseg, Jason Foley, Tanner Scott, Robert Suarez, Kirby Yates. I mean, those are all guys that, kind of round out maybe the top 15 there. But ultimately, I landed down on Munoz. He had a pretty good year last year. He had a 2.12 ERA across 60 games, finished with 22 saves. And, his FIP and his expected ERA were both really good. The FIP was 3.35 and the xERA was 2.94. So it's a guy that, I think he could replicate those numbers this year.
Yeah, I mean, he's had an ERA under 3 for 3 straight seasons, a WHIP under 1 for 2 out of those 3. Pretty rock solid pitcher here. It's just a matter of, is he, with a lot of these guys, it's going to be, do they keep the saves jobs? How many times have we seen them kind of struggle and they get pulled and then somebody comes in and takes it and they don't let it go? But Munoz feels like a pretty good one here to start off with. So number 9, Raisel Iglesias. Have an old man on this list, man.
Yeah.
At this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, I mean, he is 35, just turned 35. Actually, it's 11 days ago. So happy belated birthday to him.
Yeah.
But he used to be elite, and I mean, he kind of still is. He put up 34 saves for the Braves with a 1.95 ERA.
Mm-hmm.
It's yeah. So I mean, he used to be one of my favorites. It's when he was, with the Angels for a couple of years, and then even before then
Right.
with the Reds. I mean, he was exciting, and he still is, and he's someone I'm excited to watch again, and he could finish even higher than this.
Yeah. One of the things with him early in his career was his walks. And so it made him very erratic and very risky to take. Like you got these blow up games from him a lot. And he's really fixed that since he's left Cincinnati. Even at the end of his Cincinnati career, but he's really brought those down, and that's helped him. Last year, though, and I'll say that's like it's been 3 straight years of his K per 9 rate dropping. So I think that's why you're seeing him drop the number 9 here. Would be a good bet to say.
Yep, that is a
Yeah,
good bet there.
yeah. So, but still a very reliable pitcher for saves, especially on a Braves team that we actually think is. I think we would expect to get better this year, and he still had 34 saves last year on that team. So there you go. Number 8, Edwin Diaz, the trumpet man.
Yeah.
But oof, what a rough season for him last year, man.
It was rocky for him. At one point, he lost the closing role, and I think there may have
Yeah.
even been like a video of him in the locker room getting a little emotional. And that's hard. That probably was hard for him to see that out there in social media and all that. But overall, I mean, he ended it pretty good, and I think he remains a
Mm-hmm.
top 10 closer. He is still the guy there with the Mets, and the Mets are a team I think we expect to continue to be good again. So it wouldn't surprise me to see him get back to 30 saves. He only finished with 20 last year, but the strikeouts were still really high. He averaged 14 K per nine. And I mean that's kind of what you want from a closer. You want elite strikeouts and a lot of saves, and he can get you both.
Yeah. Yeah, he had a really, really, really rocky May, an ERA, over 8.5, and yeah, he got pulled, and just, I mean, he figured it out. He was still up and down here and there. Definitely was not the complete lockdown closer that we are used to seeing. I want to say he where's his blown saves? So he had 7 blown saves last year, and only 3 the year before. So
Wow.
something was going on there. Things just weren't right. But yeah, he ended strong. So hopefully he can carry that forward. I mean, look, would anybody be surprised if he ends up being the number 1 relief pitcher at the end of the season? No, not at all. He's
No.
got that kind of talent, and he's still in his prime for like a relief pitcher type of deal. So draft I would say draft him with fairly high confidence here. So number 7, Jhoan Duran.
He is absolutely filthy. I think he just has like one of the dirtiest pitches in baseball there. But the thing that kind of takes me back a little bit is we saw the Twins use him in a way that they just put him out there against the best players. They would use him in the 8th inning, sometimes the 7th inning if they needed to. If they came up against the the 1, 2, 3 hitters, you'd see him go out there and lose those save opportunities. And that's what they showed it to us last year. So you got to kind of expect that to happen again this year.
Yeah, it would give me a lot of pause to draft him as one of the top closers. He is the closer, but as you said, I mean, he had 7 holds last year as opposed to, just 23 saves. And I don't know, in saves only leagues, that's not a number that's going to carry me to winning that category, and his ERA was a little inflated for a super elite closer, but I mean, he's got all the stuff, all the metrics show that like he can absolutely bring that down. FIP says it should have been better. Just it is kind of, it is what it is with some of these relief pitchers. They're all, it's a lot of volatility. So, kind of pick your poison, right? So number 6 here, Devin Williams. He's another guy, man, who I like a lot, but has shown some struggles at times. And last year was he was injured for a lot of it, but really was just lights out, man, when he was on the mound. But now he goes to New York. And that could be big. That could also be really bad. Like we've seen some guys come over to New York, the bright lights there, and they kind of melt. So,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully not one of those, but something to keep in the back of your mind. But what do we like about Devin Williams? Why you got him number 6?
Just kind of similar to a lot of these guys on here. He has a couple of elite pitches that he could strike anybody out, and his K percentage last year was 43.2%, and that's he's striking out practically 50% of batters that he faces. It's insane.
Yeah, yeah,
And they say, "Oh, short porch in New York and all this, and the ball flies out of there," but it doesn't matter if you can't hit the ball.
right.
So I
You're
still
striking
have
them
a
out. They're not hitting the ball, so it doesn't matter.
I still have a lot of confidence in him because he
Yeah,
he is dirty, filthy. He is everything that you could want from a closer.
yeah,
The Yankees are a
absolutely.
really good team, so they should provide a lot of save opportunities for him.
Yeah, absolutely. So, he's got all of his pitches are plus pitches. The cutter is one of his best. So he's just, he's top notch. So I like Devin Williams a lot. And, I hate to say it as an Orioles fan. That was a great signing by the Yankees. So, all
Hmm.
right. Number 5, Felix Bautista. I like it. I like seeing it. You thinking a season off, he's just right back into being Felix Bautista.
I hope so. It's tough to really predict it. I do hope so. Currently, his projections kind of have him around 26 saves and 13 strikeouts per 9 innings. So still really good numbers there. But I kind of lean more towards the 30 saves and maybe like 14 strikeouts because he in his last season 2023 he had 16 K per nine, 16.23 with a
Mm-hmm.
1.48 ERA. And I mean that was a crazy year for him. That was really good. I don't know if we'll get those exact numbers, but I think he's gonna come back and be really good. Yeah.
Yeah, and we talked about on some of these other ones. The Orioles can hopefully put a full season together. Of not, hopefully they don't just sort of tread water in the second half like they did last year. But yeah, Bautista, I mean, just a mountain of a man, dude. 6'5", only 190, but he's a presence on that mound at 6'5". He's so big, and like
Mhm.
that stretch he has, like that ball is coming out so close to the plate. That's what makes it so dangerous because he's just so long. Um, and that's why the strikeout numbers are where they are with him and things like that. So, it just, yeah, there's a lot to like about Felix Bautista. I totally agree with you there. So, moving on here, next one up, we got Josh Hader. I don't think I mean, he's been around a while now at this point. It's once thought of as like the elite closer of elite closers, sort of untouchable. Like he's not going to go anywhere for quite a while. The strikeout numbers were always just like incredible. I mean, some of the best numbers we've seen for strikeout numbers out of a closer forever. And then just things fell off for him, and he's had a rocky road here the last couple of years. But you still like him, number 4.
I do, and his ERA was a bit high. It was 3.8 last year, but he still wound up with 34 saves. He had 8 wins, so those two together are really nice. And 71 innings. He pitched a lot of innings, and just
Mm-hmm.
from a K standpoint, strikeouts. He's going to get you those strikeouts still. And I think with the second year in Houston, I think he's going to get better. So I'm not expecting him to fall down anymore. If anything, I expect him to get a little bit better here.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this though, like FIP has him slightly better in ERA, but not much better. Now, typically, I will say this. Typically with these closers that have these like incredible ERAs, right? These like 1 point whatever's, these low twos ERAs, their FIPS are going to be higher. With Hader, it was actually lower, but 3.8 ERA to 3.5 FIP. His xFIP was at 2.93, so that's a little bit better. He did allow a few more home runs. Home runs per 9 was at 1.5. So you can look into some of the numbers there. Houston, tends to be a pretty friendly park for home runs, so maybe that played a bit of factor into it too. Was allowing more fly balls last year, so there's a lot to say that like maybe the super elite days are past him, but he's still a very very solid closer playing on a really good team that I think you can rely on. You just may not get that 1.5 ERA anymore from him, but you can just count and bank on 30 saves would be a good safe bet, I think. So I like it. Number 3, Mason Miller came onto the scene. Was on fire last year, man. This dude was
Yeah,
incredible.
he really is incredible, and just the elite caliber of his fastball mixed with a great slider is makes him hard to hit. Let me find his whiff percentage. That's what I want. He ranked 100th percentile on MLB among pitchers for whiff percentage at
Whew.
40.1. And
I mean, it's
they
hard to
can't
catch
touch
up
him.
to like 102-mile-per-hour fastball. I mean, his fastball, by the way, his pitch value on fastball was 11.8. That's
Gee,
that's um that's incredibly high, by the way, for those of you who do not know. That is insanely high. So yeah, very, very good stuff here from him. I don't know. I don't have it. Like, what was his fastest pitch? Like, clocked at? Do you know?
mm, I'm not sure what his fastest pitch was clocked at. That's a good
He
question.
was He was up there, man. I know it
That's
was couple ticks over 100, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, this dude has some
easily, yeah. I mean,
incredible
it
speed.
averaged 101. So
Oh my gosh, it averaged 101.
I think, yeah,
That's
MPH goes
nuts, man.
100.9,
Whoa,
but I think that's fair to
that's
round up.
yeah. I'll give you that one. So yeah, it's something else. I mean, again, it's kind of the same deal as like like a Paul Skeens. Like guys throwing that hard, man. You just got to worry about health. But in today's game, you sort of
Valid.
got to play that game with everybody. So I'm not really not going after a guy just because he throws hard. You just got to hope that it works and you don't get bit by it, because eventually you're going to get bit by the injury bug by somebody. I guarantee it. So I'm not gonna play the game with the guy who's been healthy. So number two
Yeah.
here though, Ryan Helsley. Well, you got
Yeah,
him
we
number
got
two.
National League Relief Pitcher of the Year award, so we won
Mm-hmm.
that, and hardly a surprise, even though the Cardinals were kind of bad last year. I mean, they were pretty
Mm-hmm.
terrible. And he led the MLB with 49 saves and led the National League with 62 games finished. So that means he was always in those high leverage situations, whether it was going for the hold, going for the save, or just going out there. And the big thing for him, why he took such a big increase from year to year, was the Cardinals. They used to not let him. It was whether it was
Mm-hmm.
him or the Cardinals. They used to not let him pitch back to back days. Either he said they didn't want to do it, or they didn't want him to do it. And they agreed to do that for the first time in 2024, and that's why we saw him get so many opportunities to go out there. And by all means, it seems like they're going to let him do it again. Apparently, they're not intending to trade him, even though everyone here in St. Louis thinks they should. But I mean, get the value on him while you can. If you're the Cardinals, if they're trying to retool and rebuild.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
yeah, he's great. He's fun to watch. He's a great pitcher.
Yeah. He's the guy. I mean, you could get him pretty cheap in drafts last year, just because. I mean, the Cardinals again, they were playing games with him. Like it was always like, well, who's the closer? We don't really know, and it
Hmm.
just like they just locked in on Helsley, and I was fortunate enough to get him in at least one league. I might have been two, but yeah, I mean, I didn't expect that when I drafted him. Not even close. I mean, he was easily going outside, the top closer range. So, but definitely worthy of the number two spot. Number one, no surprise at all. Emanuel Clase, um, the the elite of the closers. 2 years in a row now, just top notch. 3 years in a row, really.
Yeah, really, 3 years. Yeah, and he's only 27 years
Last year
old. No,
was
he's still
incredible.
26. It's you kind of want the strikeouts to be a bit higher than what they are.
Hmm.
He averaged 7.99 in 2024 and 7.93 Ks per nine in 2023. So it's not as good as some of these other relief pitchers and closers that you see, but the reliability and save opportunities that he gets is second to none. Besides
Yeah,
for maybe
and
Ryan Helsley.
the .61 ERA and the .66 WHIP, which are not going to be replicated. People like just no, don't even think about it. But the fact that he did that, I mean, I don't care if you don't want to predict it happening again, which you shouldn't. You can't not rank him number one. He's so damn good.
Yeah,
That's an incredible season. Um, yeah. So
anytime you see
rightfully
a
so,
relief
you're number one.
pitcher, anytime you see a relief pitcher get Cy Young votes, he's got to be number one next year.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I
He was.
know, you don't want to you don't want to draft off last year, but even if he regresses a little bit in that category, he's still got some room to go before everybody else catches him. That's the kind of thing there. So he's fine and firmly supplanted as number one there. I totally agree with you. But all right, man. Well, that was a quick and dirty one. Relief pitchers sort of they are what they are,
Man,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's worthy of we're worthy of our time, but also know that half of these dudes probably won't finish there because it's the relief pitcher. Like they're going to get yanked from their jobs. They get hurt. It is what it is. It's the pitching position for one, and it's also just the role that the relief pitchers, these closers, play. It's the unfortunate circumstance, and why I don't draft closers early. I just don't. Like I can't do it. Because there's just so much variability. I mean, look at how early Edwin Diaz was going. All right. I mean, it can go like that. We see it all the time. So, all right, man. But thank you for covering your top 10 relief pitchers. Make sure you follow him over on Twitter. It's in the show notes and on here on screen. And while you're here, though, if you're still hanging around, jump in over on Fantasy Six Pack. Jump on my Twitter. It's the pinned tweet for the Fantasy Six Pack series. It's a big tournament style league that we've got going on here. It's a 4th year running. And if you win, you get this bad boy here. So come and get it from me. So it's free to play. It's just for fun, brag and rights, and a cool trophy from Trophy Smack. So jump on in, and good talking with you, Connor. We'll hopefully do it again soon. See you, man.
Of course. See ya.